What's up, guys? I'm Grandmaster Shaymin, and welcome back to Flower Paradise. And today we have another episode of our Robotics Notes Elite playthrough. I think this is episode 7. I can't quite remember off the top of my head, but I believe it's episode 7. If you guys did miss out any of the previous episodes, I highly recommend going back and checking those out. As we're about to get set here on a new recording day, my internet is still dead, so hopefully we'll be able to upload videos tomorrow. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. So, we have walked in to the shop here, and we've just got through the whole Tanagachi machine upgrade, the manual. We've been trying to get that going. Well, more accurately, Akiho has been trying to get that going. The main character has been absolutely useless so far. But he'll get there. I'm sure. I've already watched the anime, of course, which I'm really interested in the differences between the anime and the game, because there's so much more content in the game than there is in the anime. So surely there's going to be quite a bit that isn't ever shown in the anime that might give some insight and some other stuff. Maybe even some references to the Steins Gate or Chaos Head or Chaos Child anime or visual novels. That would be super cool as well. Without further ado, we're just going to get right on into it. Hopefully the volume's okay. I've been editing the previous few episodes that I did back to back, and maybe the volume for my voice was significantly lower than the volume for the voices in the game, and I was worried that might throw some people off. So I've been trying to fix that. Let me know in the comment section your thoughts on kind of the whole audio situation as I'm trying to make sure I fix that. Does this sound any better? It's hard to tell from my end what you guys hear. I've been trying to mess around with it a bit. And this, at least from where I was recording and then listening to the recording, it sounded like this was probably a pretty good place to go. But I'm not entirely sure how loud their volume is going to be in comparison, because I don't want to skip the story. So I'd have to go through the entire beginning portion of the game or something in order to figure that out. Sorry, my monitor's dying. Alright. After school, I swung by the Erai General Store. As soon as I step in, I gulp loudly. My hands have been sweating for a bit now, and my knees won't stop shaking. Am I nervous, or is this pure fear? Mizuka-san, who has at this point senses my restless presence, folds the newspaper she had been reading and sits upright. After giving her a small nod, I look over at the steamer resting next to a register. Mizuka-san grins and opens the steamer. She takes out a passion fruit bun from the top shelf. Come on, Kaito. Pretend that like you don't know that they've been promoting this thing as new for like 4 years now. It's a local delight only available at this location. Sure, it sounds nice on paper, but reality is a cruel mistress. This little thing is lethal. I personally call it the Destroyer, aka Hellbringer. Passion fruit in and of itself is tasty as hell, but as soon as it's in a bun, oh boy, something went horribly wrong. I heard that Mizuko-san's father is the man behind this monster, but did he ever taste test this thing? It's gross. The steaming thing Mizuka-san hands me smells ever so slightly sour. For reasons I can't explain, I tear up. Every time I eat one of these, my appetite gets annihilated for the rest of the day. Great for diets, right? As for why I'm about to eat one of these tiny disasters, well, it's so I can collect some information. This is a trade-off. I make peace with myself as I open my mouth wide and jam the thing in. The warm and slimy texture of the fruit pulp and the bun's grotesque appearance. The sour flavor that overwhelms the sweetness due to its warmth. The more I chew, the more tears and snot come flowing from the holes of my face. At this point, I can barely breathe. Actually, I might be choking. Nevertheless, I force the beast down. If I don't finish this thing, I won't get what I came here for. Mizuka-san watches my distorted face with her usual grin. She's definitely enjoying this. My gag reflexes are firing on all cylinders. I somehow manage to hold it down, swallowing the mass in my mouth. Without wiping my tears, I grab a skull from the beverage section. I guzzle it down without paying for it. I silently place 200 yen on the register counter and take some time to recover from the hell I just experienced. Up until a few years ago, sodas used to cost 150 yen, but the economic recession hit hard, a tough price for a student.
もっとうまそうに食えっていつも言ってんでしょ
Actually impossible.
ま、いいさ。湖協定成立だ。
This is the special agreement that Mizuka-san and I have between us. As you can imagine, it was named after the horrific terms that I have to uphold in order to get information. Mizuka-san is kind of like my info broker. She's socially savvy and works here every day, so she gets to casually chat with faculty and students alike. Since she has all sorts of connections across the island, her giant social circle means she's well informed. And so Mizuka-san secretly provides me with the info she can get her hands on. It was originally Mizuka-san that proposed that I eat one entire passion bun fruit in exchange for info. The locals all know how awful it is, so no one dares drop any cash on them. Its aura even keeps tourists away. And yet Mizuka-san's dad still stocks them every single day. It's apparently hard for her to get rid of them.
欲しい情報いいな。何が知りたい？秋の3サイズ？
How did you know?
どうせ貧相なサイズだろうし、どうでもいいよ。
Really? I mean, maybe not that impressive, but I mean, if you want to get like a good gift, like a swimsuit or something, or even just clothes in general, knowing the 3 sizes might actually be helpful in the long term. I'm just saying. Like, sure, a lot of people like to keep that information to themselves, but in reality, if you know the 3 sizes, you can actually make a pretty good selection on clothing. So,
知りたいのは
a wave of nausea washes over me. I hold it down and take a deep breath and try and calm myself. There's still an awful burning sensation in my throat. Normal passion fruit shouldn't be this deadly. What the hell did they put in it?
知りたいのはロボクリニックのロボドクターのこと。
ああ、あの頑固じいさんか。それなら秋の方が詳しいんじゃない？
Age of Empires.
毒の弱みとかそういうのが知りたいんだよね。パーツ代を思わず値下げしちゃいたくなるようなそういう弱み。
Mizuka-san slaps her knee in amusement.
あのじいさんを脅して商品を値切ろって？そりゃ傑作だ。大した度胸じゃないか。
I mean, yeah, you gotta have guts, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, mate.
また秋のために一肌脱ぐわけだ。
Of course it is. Sharp as a tack. She's just as tricky to deal with as Misane.
そんな大層なものじゃないよ。でもまあ何事もスムーズに進んだ方が自分に降りかかる火の粉も少なくなるでしょ。
It's not like I'm doing this to make Akio happy or anything. It's mostly just for myself. I mean, that's what they all say when they're... He's just being a tsundere right now. Like, it's pretty obvious that he has some sort of special feelings for Akio, whether it be really, really close friend or a little bit more than that. But he's doing the whole tsundere technique where he's like, oh, it's not like I wanted to make her happy or anything. I'm a baka.
なんていうか俺信頼してないんだよね。瀬宮明穂って人間を。
I don't really trust this Akio Senomiya chick. The person who does this translation, man, what is this? Like, it's just weird.
つまりそういうこと。
Like, some of the, like, I understand, like, enough Japanese to where some of the things I'm like, is that really the best translation to put there?
貝が秋の何なのかわからなくなってきて。
Me too. Don't get me wrong. It's not like I don't like Akio. I really think that we're one of one body and soul. When I say I don't trust her, I mean that she's unreliable. Plus,
秋のことよろしくね。
There's Misa. A long time ago, I was tasked with this mission. All I'm doing is fulfilling the promise I made that day.
もしかしたら保護者のつもりなのかも俺。
Nah, it's a bit more than that, isn't it?
アキちゃんにとってのミサ姉の代わりみたいな。
やっぱけなげだわあんたって。アキに対してもミサに対してもね。
I think I don't remember too much of the anime in terms of specifics. I know a couple of things, but didn't he have a crush on Misane? Isn't that like part of the thing? Was that he had a crush on Misane, and then Misane left and tasked him with taking care of Aki, and so he does that. I could be wrong, but I felt like I got that impression from the anime. I don't know if I'm right about that though. Mizuki-san lightly punches my upper arm. She's chuckling in amusement.
情報はいつ頃もらえる？
手に入ったら連絡する。なるはやだろ。
よろしく。
I suppress my gag reflex and exit the store. Interesting. Alright, lunch break the next day. I'm on my way back to the classroom after a quick bathroom run when my tablet rings.
電話受信。もしもし。
湖協定の件だけど。
水香さんか。何か分かった？
ああ、突き止めたよ。孫がいる。
孫？へえ、そうなんだ。そういえば毒の家族って謎だったけど。
カイやアキと同学年みたいだけど。3年1組空手部の大徳純奈。知ってるかい？
That's right. Okay, she probably was in the anime and I just forgot her. I know a couple episodes ago I said that I didn't really remember her very much. She wasn't a very prominent part of the storyline, but this makes a lot of sense.
マジ？去年クラスメートだったんだよね。この前もちょっと話した。
その子の母方の祖父があのじいさんらしい。おじいちゃんってのは孫のお願いには弱いもんさ。あとはわかるな。しっかりやんな。
So there's a few options here. You can do Plan C? No, I don't know if anybody will get that from Sakurasu no Pet no Kanojo, but Plan C? I'm just saying. I guess in the camera I would be like, Plan C? Plan B then? Wait, date her, I don't want to do that. It's such a good part. So she's his granddaughter, eh? So basically we gotta get Juna Daitoku to ask her gramps to hand over the parts for free. Would Doc ever say yes to such a crazy proposal, granddaughter or not? I can't imagine this playing out like that. Hopefully that didn't, this might end up biting us in the butt. He's hard-headed, so it's likely that he'll get upset and say, "How dare you use my Juna-chan? Bam, banned." Either way, I should fill Akio in. What she does with the info is out of my hands. My role is just to show her where the path lies. Whether she walks that path or not is entirely up to her. I mean, she's...
これは運命だね。
Akio is eating lunch alone when I deliver the news to her. She immediately rises from her chair.
まさかそんなつながりがあったなんて。身内価格。これで少なくとも3割引きは期待できるかも。うまくやれば半額。ただってことも。
The president is a lost cause. She's not even considering a scenario in which this goes bad.
でもカイ、なんでそんなすごい情報を知ってるの？
風の噂を耳に挟んだんだよ。
へえ、全然知らなかった。ドクと大徳さんじゃ名前も全然違うし。とにかくこれは突撃あるのみだね。
Fair enough. Akio swiftly closes the lid on our half-eaten lunch and heads towards Daitoku-san's classroom next door. This can only go well. Of course. Oh, we're Akio now. That's why that whole thing's up in the corner. Okay. Juna Daitoku is in class 3-1, the one next to mine. I stealthily peek into the classroom. Daitoku-san is one of my classmates when we were second years, so I know what she looks like. She's short, baby-faced, and looks like a middle school boy. She's in the karate club, and she's the only member in the entire school. Daitoku-san's family runs a karate dojo. If I recall correctly, she's been a martial artist since she was little. But due to regulations set by the Inner High and Nationals, she can't enter any competitions solo. So I guess the school made the club on paper so that she can compete. I hear this type of workaround actually happens in other minor sports too, so her situation isn't so unique. Anyway, the same Daitoku-san is in the middle of chatting with her friends by the window.
Daitoku-san!
When I call out to her, she gives me an appropriately surprised look. Nonetheless, I wave her over as friendly an aura as I can project, and she eventually hobbles over hesitantly.
私かな。そうそう。うちのこと覚えてる？瀬宮さん。ああ、覚えててくれた。ありがとう。
I grab Daitoku's hands out of pure joy. Her hands are smaller than mine, almost like a child's. Even though she's a girl like me, my heart skips a beat at how adorable she is. I can't believe she knows karate.
実はね、大徳さんにちょっと頼みたいことがあって。何かな？
How are you gonna handle this?
私にできることだといいんだけど。ロボクリニックのドク、藤田さんのこと知ってるよね？え
Daitoku-san looks stunned, I think.
親戚でしょ？あれ、違った？
After a moment's hesitation, Daitoku-san slowly begins to speak.
親戚だけど。だよね。間違いじゃなくてよかった。それって藤田のおじいちゃんに聞いたの？うん、風の噂で。風の噂で、大徳さんに頼みたいことっていうのは、特に身内価格でパーツの値段を負けてくれるようにお願いしてくれないかなって。
I want to use you.
身内価格？ほら、身内のよしみみたいなものってあるでしょ？大徳さんが頼めばきっとドクもコロッと OK すると思うんだ。
Don't know if that's how that works, but you know.
お願い、この通りロボ部を助けると思って。ちょっと待って。
When I put my hands together in prayer, Daitoku-san grabs my arm, flustered. She takes me to a less crowded
急
hallway.
にそんなこと言われても困るよ。おじいちゃんに頼むだけでいいの。ダメ元のお願いだから値引きできなかったら諦めるし。でもロボ部がピンチなんだ。特にパーツ代を払えないと部がなくなっちゃうの。だからお願い、スコール1本おごるから。その頭上げて、瀬宮さん。じゃあ引き受けてくれる
Daitoku-san fidgets like she wants to say something.
何？無理かも。
I can't say I was expecting that.
大徳さんの親戚のおじいちゃんに会いに行ってちょっと話してもらうだけなんだけど。
Daitoku vigorously shakes her head back and forth.
私できない。もしかして毒が怖いの？
Oh, look, there's tears in her eyes. Are you telling me his own granddaughter is this scared of him? I mean, Doc is the stereotypically stubborn craftsman type, and his taste in music makes him seem like a punk. I think I can understand why Daitoku-san is frightened by him.
私もう何年も藤田のおじいちゃんとは話してなくて。だったらこれを機会に仲直りしちゃえばいいんだよ。別にいいかなって。なんで？仲直りしたいんだよね。
Most people would want to patch things up in a situation like this, but I'm way off the mark. Daitoku hangs her head low as if she's
え
ashamed.
今は大会前だからあんまり集中乱したくなくてとにかくごめんなさい。あと今の私の話藤田のおじいちゃんには言わないでね。大徳さん、うちの話を聞いて。
When I try to stop Daitoku-san from returning to her classroom, someone's hand lightly pushes me away.
ちょっと瀬宮、純奈をつけ回すのやめなよ。怯えてるじゃん。
そうだそうだ。ダメダメロボ部と関わったりなんかしたら
Strong-willed
ろくなことにならなさそう。
They're the two girls who were chatting with Daitoku-san earlier. They position themselves as if, like they're guarding her.
純奈は次の週末に国際予選があるんだから邪魔したら私らが許さないよ。
That's fair.
瀬宮さんはヤシオくんとイチャイチャしてなよ。
キスしたいな
Hell
ら
yeah.
俺とゲームで勝負しなよ。みたいな。
This is a pretty good one, though, I will say. That was pretty good.
別に大徳さんをいじめようとかそんなつもりじゃないよ。待ってみんな。
Daitoku sticks her neck out despite the tense situation. Then, with tears in her eyes, she looks my way.
ごめんね瀬宮さん。私瀬宮さんの頼み聞いてあげられないのだから諦めてほしいの。
Mm-hmm.
本当にごめんなさい。
あ
I don't know what she was
瀬宮、
expecting.
純奈のこと泣かした。
ひどー。瀬宮さんひどいんだ。
I mean, now they're just being excessive. How could I not back down after that? I seriously didn't think she'd cry. I feel crazy guilty even though I didn't even do anything. I mean, you pushed it. I could have chilled out. The sound of Akio's heavy breathing replaces the loud music after Doc turns down the volume.
ドクこんにちは。
わーキャーとうるせえ小娘だな。ったく。
The music was clearly louder. Pretty sure I heard Akio's internal screams for a second. I'm with her this time. Listening to music that loud for so long would bust anyone's ears. I wonder if Doc is feeling it. Probably.
で、金は用意できたのか。前も言ったが一切負けるつもりはねえからな。
用意したよ。来年のお年玉と来月と再来月のお小遣い前借りしたんだから。
In the end, her plan to get Daitoku Juna's help ended in failure. And since neither I nor Michi pitched in, Akio paid for it all on her own. That's our president, I'm so proud of her. Which brings us to the present, in which Akio is regretfully staring at the cash she had pulled out of her
小
wallet.
川田のバッテリーと充電器、それと AC アダプタ。送料なしの税込みでちょうど8000だ。
はい。
Akio reluctantly hands him 8 bills with Hideo's face on them. Doc tries to take the cash, but Akio refuses to let it go, keeping her fingers tightly pinched around the bills.
何のつもりだ？
せめて1000円だけ負けて。
ふざけんな。プロを侮辱すんじゃねえぞ。
ドクのごうつくばり。
Akio's final Hail Mary to obtain a discount has no effect on the dog as expected. After snatching the catch away without an expression on his face, Doc hands the battery pack over to Akio.
持ってきな。アフターサービスはタダだ。万に一つもねえだろうが。なんか不具合があったらいつでも言ってこい。
He might be a scary old rocker, but he's actually pretty good about this sort of
それ
thing.
とテストボードもくれてやるよ。
He pulls out a palm-sized circuit board from his
サー
drawer.
ボの動作テストをすんだろ。
いいの？
こんなもん 100円もかけずに作れるからな。ただしプラグは自分でつけろよ。で、
わざわざうちらのために作ってくれたんだ。
Aw.
これがプロの仕事ってもんだ。分かったか？
さすが
Nice to
プロ。
know.
この店で取引しててよかった。いやー、いい買い物だった。
And just like that, Akio's mood has improved. She seems really happy with Doc's little bonus.
じゃああとはバラしたのを組み立て直すだけだね。
まだだよ。必殺技も考えなきゃ。
まだ諦めてなかったの？
諦めるって何を？
必殺技。
もちろん実践で使えるようなのないかなっていつも考えてるんだけど、なかなか思いつかなくて。変形機構を前提にしたら、今日中にひらめかなくちゃアウトだな。
I don't know if you need a special move, but you know, it is what it is. Well, I guess she can do whatever she wants, just as long as she doesn't shoot herself in the foot. Although I know for a fact she's gonna struggle over this. I can just picture her regretting her decision. I can already hear her yelling, I never should have implemented such a stupid feature. The image of Akio turning bright red and stomping over to me to ruffle up my hair is clear as day. Fair enough, fair enough. We're Akio again. Interesting, interesting.
おお、
I run into Daitoku-san as I exit the restroom. Aw. Daitoku fidgets as she tries to vanish from my line of sight. Why is she so scared of me? She's got to be stronger than I am, considering she's in the karate club. This makes it look like I'm bullying her. I quickly survey my surroundings in a panic. Luckily, Daitoku-san's two friends from the other day are nowhere to be found. Geez, thank goodness. If they were around, they'd just turn this into a big fuss for no reason.
大徳さん、この前はごめんね。結局ドクにパーツ代を負けてもらうのは無理だったよ。いいねで買わされた。
I made sure my tone is as positive as possible.
あ、いや、別に大徳さんを責めてるわけじゃなくて、ドクとは長い付き合いだし、値段についてはうちも納得してるんだ。なんとか代金も払えたし、それに今になって考えてみると、あのおじいちゃんって身内だろうと絶対に値下げなんてしてくれなさそうだよね。
You don't want to put too much unnecessary pressure on her.
そうなんだ。お役に立てなくてごめんね。いやまさかあそこまで拒否られるとは。ドクのこと苦手って言ってたよね。なんで？やっぱり怖いから？
Daitoku-san remained silent. Ah, crap. Did I screw it up again? I probably shouldn't have asked her that. Why do I gotta be such a big dummy? Akio, read the room. Just because we were classmates last year doesn't mean Daitoku-san and I are particularly close. Of course she'd never answer such a personal question. I desperately searched for a new topic to change the subject with.
ところで大徳さんって空手部だよね。そうだけど。
I mentally fist bumped myself after successfully turning the conversation around.
実は今必殺技を開発中なんだけど、なんかアイデアくれないかな。いい案が浮かばなくて。必殺技？さ
I mean, that's fair.
このぐらいの大きさの。
This big. I illustrate for the height of the 40 centimeter tall hobby robot with my hands.
ロボットで今度東京の大会に出るんだ。そのロボット用の必殺技。空手
Fair
と
enough.
何か関係あるの？
I proceed to give her a brief rundown of Robo 1's battle rules. I go over the one-on-one duel format in a 2-meter square ring, and how ring outs and knockdowns decide the victor.
重要なのはね、いかに相手をダウンさせるかなんだ。へえ。
I mean, to be fair, getting someone who's in martial arts to help kind of put things together for a potential combat strategy isn't actually a bad idea, to be honest.
ね、空手で何か使えそうな技ってないかな？
And it's something that it's something that you can connect with and talk about without being, please help me get a discount type of a thing,
その
Daisuke-san starts fidgeting again, rubbing her thighs together.
どう？私お手洗いに行きたいんだけど。すぐ済むからちょっとだけ考えてよね。
You could just let her use the bathroom, though, and worry about it later. You go to the same school. After pleading desperately, Daitoku-san's strained face and all nods
例
gently.
えば足払いとかになるのかな。
足払いできるほどうちらのロボって関節多くないんだ。
It can squat down, but in order to do a leg sweep, it'd need to extend its leg forward and then spin from that stance. For that to happen, another joint, in other words, another servo motor, would need to be added, and there's no
ち
time.
なみに大徳さんの得意技って何？
得意技？
そうそう、参考までに。
Just let her use the bathroom, mate. Come on. Just for reference, alright. She's really putting a lot of thought into this. Does she have to make that does she have that many moves under her belt? I've been using robot anime as the standard for special moves, but maybe real martial artists don't use them? It's then that Daitoku-san shrugs her shoulders and speaks with a bitter smile on her face.
ないかも。
Aww.
ない？いやいや、さすがに一つくらいあるでしょ。自分の中で一番得意なのっていうか、実戦でよく使う技っていうか。
私あんまり強くないから技使う前にいつも負けちゃうの。
Aww.
そうなの。
Daitoku-san's reply is straight to the point. How am I supposed to react to that? I slap my left cheek a couple of times and take
だ
a
った
deep
ら
breath.
実戦用じゃなくていいや。あくまで大徳さんの中で得意としてる技でいいよ。
Daitoku-san goes quiet in thought again, then tilts her head. I guess nothing's coming to mind. Maybe asking Daitoku-san wasn't such a good
じ
idea.
ゃあほら、あれ、型って言うんだっけ？それでもいい。型の中だとどんなのが一番得意？
型だとあえて言えばスーパーリンペイかな。
お、スーパー。
See, that one was another one where it's like, I don't know if I'd say that was a direct translation. She said like one word, and there was 4 on the screen. Anyway, that's
そ
it.
れはうちの最もセクシーな単語の中の一つだよ。
One of my sexiest words list. Oh my gosh. So, what's on your guys' sexiest word list? Let me know in the comment section down below.
でも瀬ノ宮さんの想像してるスーパーとは意味が全然違って中国読みで108って
大徳さん、そのスーパーリンペイには相手をうまくダウンさせるような動作は含まれてる？
そうだな。こうでここでこうだから。
She's trying so hard. Daitoku-san starts to go over the kata sequence. She closes her eyes, slightly moving her body to her mind's image. This is gonna be good.
先にお手洗いに行ってきても？
Please. Crap, I held her up for way longer than I intended. Yeah, for real though. I apologize and let her go immediately. 3 minutes later, Daitoku-san exits the restroom and gasps when she notices me waiting outside. I pick up where we
じ
left
ゃあ
off.
使えるかどうかはわからないけど前蹴りとか？
どんなのかちょっとやってみてくれるかな？
ここで？
Daitoku looks around with a troubled expression on her face. Since this corridor is away from the classrooms, foot traffic is low. Still, the bathroom area isn't quite deserted.
スカートだとちょっと。
大丈夫だって、一瞬だけ。ね、この通り。
she's got a point though. She's in a skirt. I wouldn't do that. After I begged, Daitoko-san sighs.
だからこんな感じで
Without taking a stance, she swiftly kicks her left leg up into the air. While she looks insecure in a lot of ways, her kick is sharp and accurate, or at least that's how it looks to me. Plus, it even looked like her leg suddenly stretched out halfway through the kick.
おー
I'm genuinely impressed.
あ
Meanwhile, Daitoku-san desperately holds down the hem of her skirt after it flips up during the kick.
ーねえねえ今途中から急に足が伸びなかった最初は膝を曲げたままで膝をこの高さまで
Daitoku-san holds up her hand to the height of her
開
belly.
けたところで前に向かって蹴り出す感じなの
It might have been a while since I've last done any sort of karate or anything, but yeah, that's generally how you're supposed to like do a solid kick. Is you don't want to actually kick your leg out until your knee is about, upwards of like the middle of your stomach area. Though doing it with a skirt on is probably not a good idea unless you want, and you might be an exhibitionist or something. But if you're not going to do it outside of I wouldn't recommend doing it outside of your own home in a skirt. But
二段階ってことかちょっとうちもやってみていい見てて
I lower my hips and take a stance. I try to mimic what I just saw by raising my knee up and extending my leg, but I ended up wobbling off balance.
危ない
Before I know it, I'm on my butt with my left leg still sticking out in front of me.
瀬宮さん見えちゃう
Daitoku-san rushes over and fixes my skirt before anybody can see, but I don't care much about my skirt or if people can see up it. I'm feeling
あれ
expired.
だほら見てこの形
My butt is still firmly on the ground, but my left leg is extended and my right knee bent, maintaining
これだ
balance.
よん
Ah, jeez, why doesn't she get it? Whatever, as long as I see it in my mind's eye, it'll be fine. I don't need to explain this to Daitoku-san right now. I've got to summarize my thoughts before school ends. Well, we've
頑
got
張
our
るアクセ
super
ルインパクトっ
move.
て技がある
Alright, well, thank you guys so much for watching this episode. I hope you guys did enjoy. Make sure to smash that like button because you already know your support's greatly appreciated, as well as subscribing to the channel if you have not done so already. We have a lot of cool stuff on the channel that you guys can check out, and we'll see you all in the next episode.